Somebody recently asked me, do you ever want a family? To which I responded, well, you see, I see all of humanity as my family. So I don't need a personal, individual family. I don't need to own a few people and say that my family is limited to these individuals. Because you see, within an expanded context, we could say a higher level of awareness, all of us are in this together. And so when you rid yourself of the desire for family life, because you see, unless the desire for family life is rooted out completely, pun intended, unless you root out the desire for family life, the desires continue to sprout. So I make this video in the flow, so that all who hear it can spiritually grow. All of us may not be cut out for the path of Brahmachari. Brahmachari means the path of the divine. The path that transcends the cycles of time. And this person who asked me, do I desire a family? I also said, and so after saying what I just told you, I see you as my sister. And that's why all the ancient scriptures have enjoined that we see the whole phenomenal world, the entire universe, as our mother or sister. Because who's going to desire after, who's going to lust after their sister? Nobody in their right mind. But of course, not everyone is in their right mind. A lot of people are in their lower mind, the lower self, that is full of all these selfish desires, worldly desires. And so I make this video not only for those committed to the spiritual path, those already on the path, but those who are aspiring to be a pure-hearted, unconditional devotee. Those who want to be, those who are aspirants of the spiritual journey. So this video is for everybody. Those who may not see so clearly, and those who already see clearly, but can feel the essence behind this and are inspired to continue to move forward, to continue the upward momentum. True inspiration comes from within. But fundamentally, there is no difference between within and without. Hello, brother.
How you doing?
Doing well. Enjoy your hike, man.
Oh, thank you. You just put down or?
Yeah, I just hiked up and then came down and had some thoughts flowing in the head that I want to share, so I'm making a video.
Nice.
I hiked to the waterfall, dude. It's completely dry.
Yeah. It has not rained here in a while.
But you see, the difference between, I just said within and without, are fundamentally the same. And speaking with someone that represents an outward flow of the direction of attention. When right now I'm speaking from a place of introspection. And when that's the eternal intention, to be perpetually inwardly focused, then we perceive the essence, our own essence, and thus the same in everyone else. And thus, heaven is here now because we feel that within and see it in everyone around, regardless of the circumstance or how they may treat us or how they're vibrating, what they're thinking. We're unaffected by the world around us. And at the same time, although we're unaffected, you could say we're carefree. At the same time, we care deeply. There's empathy. And that's the irony. That's a seeming paradox, is that you're simultaneously careless and careful, cautious. You care deeply, you feel deeply, but you don't let your feminine side, your feeling, overcome the masculine, your reason. Don't let, for instance, the emotion of sex overcome your masculine purpose, your reason. Also, on the way down the mountain, I'm thinking, sharing with you now, that at work recently, and of course I share this story because it has a moral, otherwise rehashing the past has no purpose. So, perceive the essence. Why am I sharing this? I walk into work, and right when I walk in, they say, you have a table of 7 people. And so, yeah, I come in, I'm ready to work. I'm happy to be busy and in the flow, sharing with everybody. And, these people are running me, which I don't mind. Like I said, I'm glad to be of service. I'm happy to be, in the flow. Their check was almost $300. Of course, it's not about money, but goes to show how much they ordered. A bunch of to-go stuff, bunch of desserts. Walked out looking like they just went shopping at a grocery store, bags full of food. And towards the end of the meal, they ordered something else, like a $6 take-home meal. And I went to put it in the POS system, and it wouldn't let me. It said, see the manager. This check has been overtaken by... So I went and saw the manager. And so, what's the deal with that table? Why can't I ring in food? He said, well, I don't want you to take this personally, but this lady at the table came up to me and said she wants the entire check comped, meaning doesn't want to pay for anything they ordered. I said, why? And I laughed because I'm thinking about what he said, and I laughed at him too. He said, well, they said you were very rude. And I laughed. I'm like, come on, man. You couldn't have come up with a better reason than saying that I'm rude. There's a little girl at the table. She was face paint, and she was dressed as Wonder Woman. And I was asking her about her character, and going up to her many times throughout the meal. How's Wonder Woman doing? 1 or 2 thumbs up. 2, great. And very friendly and easygoing. Calm. And they said I was rude. Of course, I didn't take it personally. But, they were in the lobby, talking to the manager. And I went up there, just standing there as she was talking about me to him. And I'm just standing there observing. And she looks at me and starts pointing and swearing. And I just stood there, calm and composed, observing. And when she was done saying whatever, I basically said, you and I both know what you're saying right now is not true. And basically left it at that. May have said a couple other things. I didn't say I'm sorry because I'm not sorry. I didn't do anything wrong. And she said, you shouldn't even have a job. I said, oh, well, that's your opinion. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And then I walked away. So, just goes to show you don't have to take things to heart. When you live smart, when you identify with the presence, when you're enwrapped in the blissful abundance of the Lord, Lord with all caps, Lord, in all capital letters, the Holy Trinity. When you know yourself to be a son, a child, or a daughter of the Most High, then you're not affected by anything of this world. You're unmoved. You're simultaneously grounded, unmoved, but lifted up in light. Light as a feather. And what did I do? I simply prayed. I prayed for them. Whatever they're going through, send positivity their way. Pray for them. Then you can't be affected by negativity. As I spoke in a recent video, when you're celibate, you're confident and competent. So you need no compliments. You don't need worldly validation. You don't need somebody to tell you how good you're doing, because you know you're doing your best. And you know your heartfelt intent. When, of course, when somebody else gives you that feedback or reflects it back to you, you're grateful for it, but you don't need it. You appreciate it, but there's no neediness. You unconditionally share your essence and express. You're guided eternally by infinite intelligence. And so you're not affected by material reactions, by worldly minded people coming at you. As I said in the last video, once you're at a certain vibration, elevation, frequency, energy, you're not affected by anything worldly. It can't get to you. It can't touch your heart. And so you're unfazed, because your life is not a phase. You're living an eternal spiritual life. And to loop back to the beginning of the video, the beginning of spiritual existence, eternal existence, is when you root out, pun intended, the desires, personal ambitions. Now, you might have an ambition personally, but so long as that ambition is to share your energy to uplift all of humanity, then you're not a karmi. There's no worldly karma involved. And therefore, again, you're not affected by material reactions, because you know your heartfelt intention. And nothing in the world can move this, can sway this, can deter you from your divine direction. The fundamental teaching is attention, the focus. Where attention goes, energy flows. And just by observing something, you're increasing its consciousness. That alone, that thought alone, that concept is powerful. Just by observing. For instance, observing that lady yelling at me, coming at me with negativity. Remaining calm and grounded, but not reacting. There was nothing within me that was taking it personally or affected by that negative energy. I was observing her with clarity. And at the same time, empathy. Like I just said earlier, carefree, but simultaneous. Man, I hope this lady, whatever she's going through, she's taking out on me. I hope she heals that part of herself. And I certainly didn't imbibe that energy, take it to heart, and then carry it on to my other tables. I didn't continue that negative cycle. I didn't let that ruin my day, in other words. Because it had nothing to do with this moment now, as I was greeting the other tables. Every table is a fresh start. Every day, every moment is a new life breath. And so give thanks, give thanksgiving for this day, today, the only day, the day that the Lord has made. And rejoice and be glad in it. Be glad because you know your destiny of spiritual enlightenment. Because you know destiny is not a matter of chance, but a matter of choice. And your choices compound. And so live intentionally, with the intention to progress spiritually. Make this your priority. Not only your physical vitality, but also your spiritual vitality. You can have the best of both worlds. There's no limits. You can enjoy both worldly riches and spiritual abundance. God bless. See you in the next. God willing. Because I am never spilling the seed of life. Only sharing. Consciously. Not compulsively. Engaging in fruitless sexuality. Not living selfishly. But transmuting desire consciously into service of all of humanity. So I appreciate you being a part of this journey. Keep on keeping on, staying strong, living on.